Hi everybody, I'm Ryan, and this past weekend, I won my RCQ for the season, which is a relief because it was the last one I was gonna play this season. And like I do every time I win a tournament that actually matters, I'm gonna do kind of a recap. This is gonna be a short one because it was kind of a small tournament, you know, local RCQ or whatever. But I played in 4 or 5 RCQs this season, and I was on Red Black Midrange all season. And really since the regional championships, Red Black Midrange has been in quite a dramatic downturn. Because of this, I was like top 80 and losing first round of top 8, or like 2-2 dropping 5-round tournaments, kind of over and over. And in the very last one I was going to play in, I decided I was going to just tilt play mono white humans. That's the deck I know really in and out. That's the deck I made a ton of content for on this channel. That's the deck that I played in the RCs. Now this is a little bit different than the mono white humans version that I've been promoting on this channel. The reason is that my local RCQs have been sporting a lot of spirits, a lot of mono green, and a reasonable amount of mono white humans, and Brave the Elements is a just win button in those situations. So I cut an ossification and added a Brave the Elements from the list I've been like promoting as the best list, basically as a meta call. This doesn't necessarily mean that's correct. That just means I was trying to beat my local meta. And frankly, you should take everybody's decks that they promote or any deck list with a grain of salt and tune them for your local meta. So you do that too. Again, in a blind meta, I fully believe this list is supposed to be -1 Brave the Elements, +1 ossification. This is not a blind meta. I was going to beat certain decks. And spoiler, it paid off. So naturally, as you do before you spike a tournament, I got like an hour of sleep the night before because of circumstances beyond my control, and drove 30 minutes or so to the RCQ, sat down to play mono white humans. Now there are 15 people there, which means it was 5 rounds cut to top 4. I had to explain that to the tournament organizer, which was a little awkward. And then he didn't know how he was going to do Swiss +1, and then it still show rankings for us to have a cut to top 4. So it was kind of a butt clench to make sure that the tournament was going to behave in a way that is supposed to, pretty much the entire day. Like, he told multiple people it was a cut to top 8, and I had to correct him. Long story short, it ended up being fine. It asked if we wanted to add another round. He wasn't sure if we were going to. I don't know how it works on the back end. I was just informing him of the rules. Anyway, sat down to round 1 with all of this on my mind. I'm playing against Blue-Red Phoenix. In the first game of the tournament, my opponent casts a burn spell on my 4-2, I think it was, Dauntless Bodyguard with ward from Coppercoat Vanguard. I put it in the graveyard without triggering ward, even though they're tapped out. So they made a mistake by targeting something with ward. I totally forgot the trigger. In game 1 of the tournament, I ended up squeaking out that game by putting my opponent to 1, them flipping a Thing in Ice, and me have Castle Ardenvale, making a token on their end step, untapping Brave the Elements. So it was like really, really dope, and then I just smushed him game 2. But, oh man, what an awful, awful way to start the tournament. Round 2, I got paired up against Neoform, where I got smushed in game 1. He comboed very quickly, and then I like removed it, but he drew so many cards, I was like kind of crawling back into the game, and then I couldn't answer the second combo. And then game 2 and 3, I just removed all his creatures. My opponent mulliganed a lot, and I was 2-0. In round 3, I played against Blue-White Spirits. We had a pretty normal match where the person that was on the play won. I don't remember a lot from that match, to actually be totally honest. In round 4, now normally, even in cut to top 4s, you're supposed to be able to XO double draw. XO2 is supposed to always make it. However, me and my round 4 opponent, we were the 2 undefeateds at that time, were doing math, and the matches could play out in such a way that if him and I drew, we would be paired down to X1s. Those X1s would need to play because they would end up being 3 X1s. And if they drew with us, one of them would be breaker jumped if the X1 won the pair down. And then if we lost to those X1s, it's possible one of us could be breaker jumped. So we had to play in round 4, which is too bad. It was mono green, which is really good for me playing mono white humans, and the person that was on the play won every time. So we go into round 5, and I'm the lone undefeated at 4-0, and I get paired against mono red aggro at 3-1. And my thought is it's really important that I remain the first seed. And I need to do everything I can to remain the first seed. I offer to draw with my opponent. Of course, they say no, they cannot draw, because if they draw, there's a possibility of them drawing themselves into 5th. So we play, and they smush me. It is not particularly close. I lose pretty dramatically. So I'm 4-1. I still end up first seed, so I'm actually kind of glad I didn't Dream Crush. But as that round went on, it was mono white humans versus mono red, so it went very quickly. I was checking out the standings and looking at the people playing. There was a game that was happening that was a win-in for one player. There was a win-in for a red black sack player that got paired down to a blue white spirits player that was actually a homie of mine. And I really needed my homie to Dream Crush the red black sack player. Because if the red-black sack player won, I would have them first round of top 4, and that's like a 10%, maybe sub 10% matchup for me, which is not good. Luckily, my homie Dream crushed the red-black sack player, which I feel kind of bad, but was really, really good for me. My homie came in 5th, even though technically he was live for top 4, so it wasn't super bad to Dream crush. And so top 4 ended up being me in 1st. In 2nd place was the mono green player I beat. In the 3rd place was the mono red player that destroyed me in the last round. And in 4th place was a blue white spirits player that I beat. Round 1 of top 4, I played against blue white spirits, kind of smushed them game 1. Game 2, they stabilized with a pretty large Catilda, attacked in the air, put me on a clock in the air. And I was in a weird spot. Like, the game was gonna be kind of sketchy. I had a really big Thalia's Lieutenant. I was gonna be able to make them chump with Catilda, but if they took a bunch of damage, then they were on a 2-turn clock and I could chump block it. It was gonna be weird. Like, it was gonna be a real weird game. Instead, I just top deck Brutal Cathar, got rid of Catilda, and killed them. So I guess we didn't have to play a really difficult game. So that's nice. And then I'm in the finals. The other top 4 match, the mono green player beat the mono red player. And I have another rematch in the finals against the mono green player that I beat during Swiss. Game 1, they kept a 1-lander with the Mana Dork and didn't hit. And then I won. Game 2, mono green did mono green things because they were on the play. And the game 3, I just had the nastiest nut out ever. It was like 1-drop into 1-drop portable Hole Your Homie into Adeline into Thalia's Lieutenant, another 1-drop. And they died. And I won the tournament with a total complete nut out. And I got the invite, so that feels really good. That's the 2nd season in a row I've qualified. Really, the 2nd season in a row I've tried really hard. I guess the previous season I played in quite a few, to be fair. And we're back to the RC in Georgia in December. I don't know what I'll be playing. I won't know the status of Pioneer. We'll see. But if you made it this far, you care about my Magic career, and I appreciate that. I'm going to do my best to get on the Pro Tour in December. Thank you for following along. If you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Check me out on social medias. Links are above me and in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.